And here we go. Yeah, much as predicted, the viewing gallery has turned into a shooting gallery. With the very same mercenaries that we saw in Scribia showing off during the previous meeting. Also, Strox officially flipping sides. You'll love to see it. Especially since, I'm assuming we'll have a number of waves over time. Whilst we otherwise deal with what I assume is our real boss. The cannon here. Oh, interesting. Look at that. They've got both approaches blocked off. So we either have to find a way to lower those or take it out with range. Oh, okay. And Scribia is actually marked as an active combatant. But well away from the rest of the battlefield behind an armored barricade. So yeah, it does seem like this is apt to be another unique scenario with special rules just for this specific situation. But we won't know for certain until we actually get it started, so let's get our guys set, and then we'll give it a peek. Yeah, see, like that there is already one unique rule, though not the one I think that will define this entire scenario. That's more something unique to these guys. Each of these mercenaries chooses a specific target and becomes almost fully immune to damage from anyone else until that target hits them. Which shouldn't be too hard to set up, given that they've got pretty clear lines drawn between them and their targets. But, you know, aside from that, otherwise setting up pretty much more or less as usual. At least until they hit us with another curveball. Cass groups them up. Abby grabs as many as possible. Kibbs just trims the edges. Yeah, that's fine. Keep Glado tucked out of the way until we need him. We've also got these guys. The accusers, one on either side. I wonder what their deal is. As per usual, could just look it up, but where's the fun in that? Let's do this. Zone set. Let's soften up Epsilon. This'll remove his damage reduct. Can we, No, too far. Fair enough.
My vow is to serve.
Epsilon dinged. Debuff. Now Cass, who's on Alpha. There we go. Alpha dinged.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
Let's get Abby set.
I'm afraid not.
Too far for charge. Oh, and stairs make it weird. Not sure that actually helped. Alright, fine. Whatever.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Lock these two down. Yeah, because that guy's just past the invisible breakpoint on the stairs. The delineation between the two elevation levels. Oh, okay. Interesting. So the accusers accuse. I guess I could have made that connection. Blood idolatry. Blood splashes from your attacks must not affect any creature. If guilt is proven, the weapon of justice will fire at this character. If not proven, or the accuser is killed, it will fire in Prefect Voltour's direction instead. Ah, which is how we take down the barrier. So the gun isn't really a boss so much as it is just part of the puzzle. Okay, so we basically just need to be careful where we splatter blood. Anyone who gets touched by it, we need to make sure they die or end their turn outside of it. We'll still go ahead and take out the mercenary, and then maybe the accuser as well, which in theory should auto-clear the accusation. Then we don't have to worry about the blood at all. Oh, wow. Slightly tougher than I thought.
Let your soul be purged.
There we go. That did it. Now let's push the accuser. Not sure we can actually take them down, though, not after we had to hammer the merc. Yeah, that's fine. I think just hang tight. I think we're good. Oh. Goodness. Okay, well, maybe not. Wow. That knocked off half of Kibble's health.
Follow my lead.
Thank goodness she's a tank. Oh, jeez. Well, Kibbles might be on her way out, but at least Abby seems to be doing okay. Accusation, gluttony. Use a consumable item. You know what? I think I can do that. Unless... Wait. Using an item would seem to imply that I am a glutton, but, I mean... It says to use one, so... Yeah, I mean, I'll do exactly what it says, see how that works out for us. I'll say right now, though, if Val gets shot by that weapon of justice, there's no way he stays upright. No update on the accusation. Really hope that worked. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and ding this guy. overspent. But still got it done. Also, we've still got a free heroic on tap, so let's toss that to... Cass. Then she can give someone a free turn. Kibbs, heal thyself. And then I guess stab this accuser.
As honor orders.
Hey, there we go. So, with the accuser dead, the ruling was automatically in our favor, regardless of what we did. Though, the health on that barrier implies we have to do that 7 more times. 8, if you count a final killing shot. We're going to need a lot more accusers to kill. They only gave us 2. Oh, interesting. Okay. Got a free shot in there for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'll certainly take it. So 7 more.
To regroup, my faith strengthens me. Just a minor setback. Break their morale!
Nice. All right. Let's get solo on his guy who's retreated upstairs. Delta. Yeah, we'll push here, then run and gun the rest of the way.
Glato, we're undertaking this task.
But we'll keep Glado on Marshal Strox. Since, as we've seen, things get a mite bit wonky with our supposed immunity to friendly fire.
Moving into position.
And then a couple of point blank should hopefully do the trick.
The order's clear.
Well, that was nowhere near as much damage as I hoped it would be. How about that new, slug attack? Okay, better. Also, this. Oh, so close. Oh. Right, there we go. Not sure I was supposed to get that many attacks, but I will absolutely take it. And Glado. Let's get an extra attack in on this bozo. Is what I would say if we could actually see him.
Moving out.
And Abby, accused of desertion. End your turn on a cell adjacent to an ally. Okay, yeah, I can probably do that. In fact, I see exactly how we can do it. Nice. Hopefully that's good. But, just in case. How are we looking? Lovely.
Onward.
But just the one, so we still need 6. And there's our reinforcements. Thank goodness, we were almost out of accusers. Oh, well, I mean, those aren't accusers. Those are astropaths. Interesting. Alright. So if we kill the other accuser, then what happens? I mean, I'm assuming that more rush in, but I don't want to inadvertently break the whole mechanic. Let's focus down the other targets first. The mercenaries, the astropaths. Because, yeah, like, Pascal did not get an accusation on him.
Approved.
Gamma out. With a bonus hit on Accuser 2. Not quite what I was going for, but I guess I can live with that. Now we just need to clear... we just need to clear this guy over here. You know what? Maybe we will just kill this guy. See what happens.
I'll do what it takes.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Okay, free hit. 5 left. But we are now out of accusers, so I'm not really sure what we do from here. Unless the astropaths count. Let's go ahead and chop them up, see if that gets us more hits. That's doing something.
Trust me.
Okay, no free hit. So they did not count as accusers.
My blade whispers you killing. Brings me no pleasure.
Astropath's clear. That just leaves the one merc on right, plus the cannon and Inscribia herself. Let's whittle this guy down. Oh, come on. Man, we got XCOM'd. But that's fine. We've got no shortage of firepower.
Weapon at the ready. Stay vigilant.
Wow, nothing from the cannon. No reinforcements? So what happens if we just kill this guy? Do we then have to blow up the cannon? I mean, I can do that too. No, we're done. Wow. Hi. Prefect Voltour kneels before you. Scores of fragile implants all over her body are twitching convulsively, giving her the appearance of a crushed insect. The prefect lets out a cough. Then an unnerving smile appears on her lips. I at least had to try. I served the Von Valancius Protectorate faithfully for over 100 years, painstakingly cultivating order where others had failed to do so. While you and your ancestors sowed anarchy and havoc with your ever-changing whims, I stood on as the linchpin that kept this domain from sinking into criminal disarray. It was because of me that this gargantuan system continued to function with barely a flaw. The only source of disruption was you, the rogue traders. Yes, I at least had to try. You might have understood my perspective. The way you managed to expose my plans before the trial confirms your extraordinary intelligence. But it is poisoned by your self-interest, which makes it all the more painful for me to lose this battle of wits for power. So you finally admit it. This was all just a bid for power. Not really sure you thought this through, though, because, like, even if you had deposed me, what would you do about the other 12 different crises that I'm currently juggling? How do you think Kalkazar would have reacted if every single rogue trader was suddenly MIA? Especially given that, you know, not for nothing, but he did technically give me a free pass to do all the things that you accused me of. The Protectorate isn't yours, and it never was. Have you not read your own warrant, even once? Every conquest, every planet claimed by a rogue trader belongs to the Imperium. You're supposed to act as its vassal, nothing more. But rogue traders are incapable of efficient rule. All that drives you is your craving for profit and reckless exploits. The limitless potential for the Protectorate is wasted in the hands of spoiled fools. And I am tired of watching you desecrate the very foundations of the Imperium. If it weren't for you, the Protectorate would be operating for the good of the throne, as impeccably as a sacred machine of the Omnissiah. I mean, I feel like the pirates and the Drukhari and the cultists might have something to say about that, but sure. Alright, well look, I could go on all day about how poorly you planned this whole thing out and how clearly you telegraphed exactly what you were trying to do, but I got places to be. You have anything else you'd like to say in your defense before I pass your final judgment? Only the guilty try to defend themselves, whereas I acted in the interests of the Imperium. Such a shame that some things cannot be set right by bureaucratic means, and that the short-sightedness of certain people serving in adjacent divisions. She pauses meaningfully, watching the Marshal knit his brows. So often becomes an insurmountable obstacle. Yeah. It sucks to have checks and balances and stuff, I guess. Well, Inscribia, I've got to say it's your lucky day because a wise man recently told me that someone's punishment should reflect their station, and since you're basically nothing now, I'm not sure you're even worth executing. But you know what? Since you're so fascinated with the tithe, and we've now got it here on Dargonis, I think I know exactly what we can do with you. We've only got like one other guy in there keeping inventory, and he's not great. So, you know, he could probably use some company. We were going to need more people in there anyway, and your name just came up, so consider yourself drawn and Tertius quartered. The prefect grimaces. To be spared for the rest of my life from having to watch you bring the Imperium's territories to ruin. That is a reward, rogue traitor. But I suppose you are right. Cataloging shipment chronicles is an art long overdue for some rigorous supervision, and none except me in your entire domain is capable of performing this function adequately. Yeah, sure. You keep telling yourself that. Just try not to stray beyond the confines of your actual authority this time. Otherwise, I'll have to fire you into the sun. I have not the strength to attempt something like this again. Voltour sounds tired and sincere, like you have caught a glimpse of the woman this lawmonger once was. Nice. Marshal Gregorus Strox takes a measured step forward, his armor clanging. You must judge me also, rogue traitor. I have shamed the Adeptus Arbitrus by succumbing to Prefect Voltour's manipulations, and betrayed the Lex Imperialis, the very law I was meant to uphold. I am guilty. I insist that you pass the sentence and carry it out immediately. Really? I mean, look, Gregorus, we don't really know each other all that well, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You definitely screwed up siding against me, even if just temporarily. But, I'm a bit surprised you're not going to argue that there are mitigating factors involved, or that you did ultimately end up coming around in the end. I mean, you did help me take down Inscribia. If you were to ask for leniency, I'd be inclined to grant it. Remorse does not absolve me from being culpable for what has transpired. I have betrayed the Lex. There is no going back for traitors. Well, see, Strox, that's where you're wrong. People can't learn from their mistakes if they get killed every time they make one. Something to mull on, perhaps, in your new post as High Overseer of Viabos 6. The same penal outpost you once exiled Solomorn to. Hopefully you can handle it a bit better than he did. If not, I revisit my former statement about firing and sons. But, you know, let's maybe try not to let it get to that point. I consider this measure unduly lenient, but I have no right to protest your decision. The Marshal brings a closed fist to his chest and adds solemnly, For your judgment is final. Good man. Strock sets his shield down, detaches his carapace, and places it over the shield. Now clad in only his undersuit uniform, he looks smaller without his armor, and very tired. I, Marshal Gregorus Strox, am stepping down from my post. I am no longer fit to wear this armor. May its new wearer bring honor to the Lex. The rest of the room stands still, all eyes turned to you. The final verdict. What you say next will decide the fate of not just the Adeptus Arbitrus, but of justice in the Coronis Expanse as a whole. It's no secret that the arbitrators have not availed themselves well throughout this entire bureaucratic boondoggle. Despite what the former marshal may have said, justice is not a matter of extremes. There are always shades of gray and mitigating factors to consider. Of the arbitrators I have encountered, only one has fully embraced that fact. And thus I put forth Proctor Solomon Anthar as the new marshal of the Adeptus Arbitus in the Coronis Expanse. Under his oversight, I'm certain that the arbitrators will once again become proper protectors of the peace and servants of the people. Your decree carries great weight, but my assignment will not happen so quickly. There is no precedent for electing a new marshal in the Expanse, not to mention that the Lord Marshal is unable to participate in the process. We will have to develop a new procedure. Otherwise, we arbitrators will not accept these changes. Until my official assignment, though, I will lead as acting head of the Adeptus Arbitus. Sounds good to me. Let's get back to work, people. Among the broken fragments of the great scales and the burning Arbitus banners, the people kneel as one. The verdict has been announced. Whatever the future may hold, one thing is certain. The Coronis Expanse will not be the same. And thus it ends. Huh. Really would have expected that to bump us up our final level, but it looks like they actually gave us a pretty modest reward. Though we did at least net Marshal Strock's gear, so let's give that a gander. Kinesiostatic Shield. Surprisingly, mid-tier shield, though let me switch over to Solo real quick, make sure we see how it scales to him. Yeah, not great, because, like, it specifically gives him parry, but shields don't use parry, they use block. And then aside from that, it's got an overly complicated minor energy damage bump on shield bashing. Gotta say, pretty underwhelming. I mean, also not really keyed towards what Solomorn is, which is an overseer shotgun arbitrator. As opposed to, I guess, what Marshal Strock's was, which is a melee arbitrator. Yeah, I mean, we're better off with the defender. Higher base block chance. Marshal's Armor of the Coronis Expanse. Relatively high-end heavy, but we do not have Solo set up for heavy. Also, immobilizes target struck with attacks of opportunity. And then additional deflection if strength is over 70, which Solo's is not. So again, yeah, really geared towards melee arbitrators, not towards what Solo is. Might be a good fit for Abby? Oh, no, definitely not. That, I forgot just how ridiculous the deflection on that Tempestus Elite was. Yeah, we're probably never pulling him out of that. I mean, I guess maybe Pask. Though I've got to say, I mean, I really do like the way his current gear looks, even if it is technically slightly worse. Marshal's Helmet of the Coronis Expanse. Whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a shield, all allies in a 3-cell radius gain +5 resolve until the end of combat. Does not stack. Yeah, I mean, none of this is all that appealing. Oh well, just how it goes. We'll just hold on to it for now. Maybe Heinrichs can get some use out of it.
I always keep my options open.
I've got him in kind of a weird dual-wielding force sword build right now, but it might be fun to toss him a shield. Oh-ho, here we go. In the broken base of the scales is a chest adorned with a patina-covered emblem of the Adeptus Arbitus. The purity seal suggests it was consecrated before being immured. Starting with the Maragon Shield. An inscription on the inner side reads, "Many an enemy of humankind took aim at Maragon's heart, yet this shield stopped each foe's deadly sting, for the God Emperor protects his faithful servants from death's rapacity." Indeed, Emperor protects. Decent shield, slightly better base block chance than Marshal Strock's gear. Reduces incoming damage and increases outgoing damage to Xenos and demons. You know what? That's actually not bad. Wow, especially in Solo's hands. 30% damage reduct. What else we got here? Maragon Ring. When the wearer kills a target for the first time in a round, the next attack automatically hits, and their abilities are reset. Maragon Boots. While under the effects of Ruthless Suppression, the wearer is immune to immobilized, prone, and slowed. Carefully engraved on the sole are the words, "His footsteps were thunderous, and his name, Maragon, made every soul tremble. It meant but one thing for his foes, and that thing was death." Ruthless Suppression. If there are 2 or more enemies in a 2-cell radius around the arbitrator, no critical hits can be scored against the arbitrator or their familiar. Critical hit chance increased by something scaling off coercion. When adjacent enemies get up from being prone, they provoke. Kind of interesting. Way too complicated. The ring is adorned with tiny golden lettering. Severius Maragon, the first marshal of this temple, of the Lex Imperialis, was a righteous judge until the day the Emperor summoned his soul. Thank you. That is some much-needed context. Shiny, ornate letters run along the rim of the helmet. He was sharp of sight indeed. Nary a vice in a rotten soul, nary a shadow in the murk of lawlessness could escape Severius Maragon's all-seeing eye. If the wearer is an arbitrator with the Castigator specialization, their Castigator abilities cost 0 AP, which Solo is not. I want to say a Castigator is an arbitrator officer. I mean, we can still get some use out of the other stuff, the shield especially. I just don't think that helm was really built for him. Much the same as with Marshal Strock's gear. Very strange, our big prizes here seem to be things that are primarily designed without the DLC companion in mind. But, you know, we're doing okay. We don't really need more upgrades. And, I mean, we got one anyway. Looking good, Solo. Not like an arbitrator, but still. And then, aside from that, looks like they've already cleaned the place up a bit. No corpses to loot. Unless they've tucked all the loot in a corner here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Right near the exit. Yes. Okay, yeah, that looks more or less right. Minus the astropaths, perhaps? I'm seeing gear for 6 mercenaries and 2 either arbitrators or possibly the accusers. Plus some other miscellaneous familiar accessories I'm not too worried about. But we'll take it. One sec. Let me do one last quick pass, then we'll take care of the rest of the follow-up.
Rogue Trader.
Solomon gives you a curt nod in greeting. Solo, just thought I'd check in, touch base, see how you're doing since the whole Palace of Justice incident.
Understandable. That trial was unprecedented, as was its ending.
Yeah, there were some trials and some errors, but, you know, we still came out on top. Sorry about Marshal Strauss. I tried to go easy on him, but he literally asked for it.
Gregorus Strauss used to be an outstanding servant of the Lex Imperialis, and I still cannot understand why he failed to recognize Voltur as an enemy. I think that, in the end, Gregorus's actions were only human. Trapped in the Coronis Expanse, he was faced with the task of guarding the entirety of the sector's tithe. He needed the wisdom of someone who could lighten his load.
Yeah.
I am thankful to you for sparing Gregorus's life. He would have preferred execution, like all arbitrators. He feels duty-bound to accept his punishment. I intend to visit my former commander on occasion. I don't want to leave him alone with his guilt.
You're a good man, Solo. That's why I like him. So what about the rest of the arbitrators? Any thoughts there? Given everything that just occurred?
The Marshal's removal is sure to become a test of the Arbiti spirit, but I believe in the Arbitrator's perseverance. We were taught to do our duty no matter the circumstances, and even while we are leaderless, the Lex Imperialis will guide us through.
Sure, but you'll also be there to help make sure they take the right lessons from this, right? Even if just in an acting capacity?
The Adeptus Arbites in the Coronis Expanse are in need of reorganization. Recent events have shown that we cannot continue to serve the Lex Imperialis the way we did before. I will use the experience I have gained while traveling with you to ensure that less blood is spilled, both that of the judges and of the convicted. Quite the task, considering the arbitrators do not know the meaning of redemption or mercy.
Nice. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, bud. And what about Glado? How's he holding up? That recording device certainly seemed unpleasant. You get that taken care of?
I've decided not to subject him to yet another procedure. The protocol that was making him conduct surveillance has been stopped after all. We might have need of this function someday, but for now, it has been disabled. Into the void with it.
Fair. That's fair. Alright, Solo, I guess that's it then. I appreciate your time.
So do I. Do you wish to talk about something else?
No, I think we're good. I'll leave you to it.
You know where to find me, Rogue Trader.
I do indeed. Though now that your particular tale has come to an end, I might swap you out for Ulfar again for a while. I think those last 2 sectors are apt to be pretty involved with his whole thing. Plus, you know, I really would like to give that endgame flamer we just tossed him a proper go. Hey, sweetheart. How you doing? Man, so Lex Imperialis. You know, I'll need some time to really properly gather my thoughts, but I'm going to say I liked it. I feel like it was pretty solid overall. Though I also think that Void Shadows might have been a bit stronger, especially with the climax. You know, the whole final showdown with Inscribia did feel like it just kind of petered out before it really went anywhere. We didn't even hit the barrier half the times needed to take it down, though I suppose that's just as well, because in theory, if we had taken it down, we might have just straight up killed her, rather than passing final judgment. And I suppose, to a certain extent, the lackluster end might be a bit my own fault for not really wanting to kill anyone if we can help it. I just didn't feel like it was in Valen's nature to be particularly vindictive towards her. She wasn't particularly repentant, but she also did believe, apparently very sincerely, that she was acting for the greater good of the Expanse and the Imperium as a whole, which I suppose Valen could respect. Especially now that her talents can be put towards more practical, if much more subdued use. It's not like she killed a bunch of people, she just fudged reports and falsified charges. She was a bureaucratic bad guy, not a Drukhari or a cultist in dire need of a las-bolt to the face. Anyway, that said, you know, feel free to share your own opinions in the comments down below, and for now, I think we hit the pause button here. With the last of the DLC complete, at least as far as I'm aware, there's not but main plot to pursue. We'll hit the pause button for now. We'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, cash in our cargo, see how far that gets us with the Drusians, and we'll pick up here next time, as it's finally time for our next face-to-face with our resident Inquisitor. Hard to say how much game we've got left at this point, but I guess we'll find out. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Giemza, OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
You know where to find me, Rogue Trader.